Hello, everybody. My name is Patrick Lloyd, and I am the instructor for the laboratory component of your course here in General Chemistry 2 at Kingsborough this semester. Welcome aboard. Your lecture instructor is Carrie Ann McKenzie, so she'll be handling all the lecture material, and I'll be handling the laboratory material. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk a little bit about the syllabus, the course syllabus. And I'll show you a little bit of details of how to access some of the material for the laboratory. And we'll go from there. Okay, so on the screen is the syllabus here for the laboratory. Um, First, I'm going to go over my contact information. So that's right here. So I'm Patrick Lloyd. I'm in the Department of Physical Sciences in the chemistry area here at Kingsborough Community College. If you would like to call or if you'd like to text, you can reach me at this number here, 347-249-5676. Now that number, you can text me anytime. So sometimes when I'm busy or doing something, I may not be able to answer a phone call, but I can certainly respond to texts at least after I'm done doing whatever I'm doing. So you can text me at WhatsApp or Signal or on just regular messaging, either way. I can also be reached by email at my Kingsborough address here, patrick.lloyd, there's two L's in Lloyd, at kbcc.cuny.edu. Now, in terms of office hours, we're going to do it a couple of different ways since this is a asynchronous course. One is you can make an appointment with me. You can get in touch with me and we'll find a time where we could meet virtually on Zoom. And when that happens, we'll use this number for the Zoom number. So that'd be for the meeting ID. And then I'll give you the password for logging in when we get our meeting going. Okay. I'm also on campus and I have a couple of scheduled office hours if you happen to be at Kingsborough on Mondays or on Wednesdays. So Monday 2:50 to 3:50 p.m. and then Wednesday 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. And that's in the S building. That's where the arts and sciences are on the third floor, S316. Now, our goals in this course are to give you an opportunity to learn about chemical sciences from a laboratory perspective. So we have a couple of ways of doing that. So we want to talk a little bit about accuracy and precision and some wet chemistry, spectroscopy, that sort of thing. So the format is set up, the course format is with due dates. There are due dates, so be aware of that first of all. There are due dates in the course, but it'll be essentially self-paced. So you'll try to meet those due dates, but work on your own and get that work done. So the first component is going to be using a system called ALEX. And ALEX is an online learning system that includes homework, examinations, and virtual laboratories. So all of those are part of the course or of the material. Now, if you already have Alex, if you already used it for the first semester course, usually when people buy it, they buy a 360-day access. So if you're still in that time frame, don't buy it again, right? But if you're not in that time frame, you'll have to buy it online. Now, here is the relevant information for our course. The class code is right here. And be aware, this class code is good both for the lecture and the laboratory. The two of them have been combined on Alex. That way you don't have to have two separate registrations on it. So there's your 10-digit. You can copy and paste that into Alex. And if you need a little bit of time before you can purchase it, we do have the financial aid access code. It essentially allows you to use the system on a trial basis for 2 weeks. Okay, it doesn't give you 2 weeks at the end, but you can use it for 2 weeks until you purchase it. The website is alex.com, www.alex.com. So if you go to that website, you can, do the registration, sign up, use the class code and all of that. Okay. So that's using Alex. Now, the one for the laboratory, and by the way, you're gonna, your lecture exams and homeworks will be on Alex as well. So again, you get everything in there. The first thing in the laboratory that we'll be talking about are what are called these course assignments. So the laboratory course assignments are virtual laboratories, and they're all available on Alex. So this is a list of them right here. There's 12 of them. Again, pay note to the due dates there. There is a little bit of a break in there between March and April for spring break, but other than that, it's essentially Sunday nights. So those will be your due dates for the Alex. So let me see if I can um, bring this up here. So let me bring this up here. There we go. Okay, so here's the Alex screen once you've created the account and joined the course. Um, Over here it says start my path. So that's one thing you can do. That's mainly what you click on in order to access the homework assignments. But if you want to do the laboratory assignments, you come up here and you'll see right here it says assignments. So I'm going to click on that. And then you'll see all the assignments here. Now notice here a lot of things are upcoming and closed and all of that. But I want to talk about the virtual labs because those will be your components that you're doing for the lab. So the first one is virtual lab 1. So that's right here. And notice the dates here. It's already open and it goes through the 15th. So you have to have it done by the 15th of March. Okay. Now let's come on over here. I'm going to hit open. Oops, it's not opening there. Sorry. Let me click on this one here. Here we go. So you do get 3 attempts for this. And I'm going to hit start. And then the virtual lab will come up. So the first thing they do is they give you some information about, a background about the topic that we're talking about. So this first one is regarding kinetics. And kinetics is, of course, the rate of a reaction, the speed of a reaction. It's the first topic in your lecture as well. So it's pretty nicely tuned in with that. So this tells you a little bit about what you're going to be doing in this virtual laboratory and how it's scored. And then again, there's a little more background information. And then you continue on into the laboratory simulation to do that. Now, I do want to point out that in the past, we've had difficulties having this run properly on phones and iPads. It is recommended that you use a laptop, or a desktop PC or something like that. So if you run into problems and you need a laptop or something, you can always contact Kingsborough's IT department and go to the help desk and call them, and they can arrange to have you borrow a laptop for the semester. Okay, so that's the idea right there. And then what happens is there's essentially one due every week. So the second virtual lab right here, if we click on that one and hit start, now we'll see there's another one. This is involving catalysis. Catalysis is also an issue of kinetics. So the first two laboratory simulations are based on kinetics. Okay, so you'll work on those. You can complete them early if you want to. There are due dates, but you can always turn them in early. So if you find that at the beginning of the semester you haven't gotten really busy with some of the other courses or you happen to have time, feel free to knock out, a few of them at the beginning. And you can do that, and that kind of saves you a little bit of time later on in the semester. Okay. So let me show you now a little bit more about the syllabus. So that's the first one. That's the first component of the lab. The second component is discussion board postings on Brightspace. So the laboratory component, or the laboratory shell for Brightspace, 03L, that one is now open. And as the semester goes along, I may add some materials into that. You'll be doing your postings there. So it should be on the discussion board. The first one should be available. It's essentially just an introduction. And the due dates for those are essentially, well, they're the same due dates as the virtual labs are. I made them the same, so it's kind of easy to keep it in your mind. So these are the due dates for the discussion board postings. Again, what happens is every week I'm going to put a new prompt, a new topic in there. Typically, what I will do is I'm sorry, this is one little error here. This is 3 points, not four. Sorry. I will put a prompt up usually Tuesday evening. And then you have until that Sunday evening to to complete. Actually, you'll have a little bit more than that. You'll have the Sunday plus a week, so you have like I think it's 11 days in order to be able to post 11 or 12 days. Okay, so the first one is due the 15th of March. Okay, and that one's already available. Again, it's 3 points, and essentially what I do is I score it based on just, the quality of the response. Make sure you pay attention to punctuation and capitalization and all of that, but just read what the prompt says and then respond to it. Okay. And again, one essentially every week. The third component is a demonstration presentation. So you're going to do an experiment at home and you're going to record it on your phone. Okay. So I will be posting that assignment um, by the end of the month, by the end of March. So you'll have April, May, and the first couple of weeks of June to do it. And that's just one assignment. You'll post this on Brightspace. So this assignment will show up on Brightspace. And that's your third component right there. Okay. So the three, just to kind of do a synopsis of this, the three components of your grade for the laboratory is one, the virtual laboratory. Sorry, there's a little miss. Oh, no, that's right. 10 points times 12, right? Okay. So for the virtual labs, you'll have 12 experiments. Each one's worth 10 points, so that's 120. The discussion board posting is 3 points, and there's 12 of those, so that's 36. And then your demonstration presentation is another 24 points. So those will be all of your points for the laboratory. And that'll be essentially how you get graded for the lab. Okay. So I look forward to talking to you, to reading your postings on Brightspace, and any questions you have, just feel free to reach out to me. If you have any difficulties, you know, um, with the virtual labs, just reach out to me and let me know. Okay. Good luck and have a great beginning of the semester.